In this session, what we're going to discuss is some advanced techniques in whole goods, primarily in two areas. Number one, vehicle repairs themselves. Show you some ways that we can make it a little bit easier for you to do repairs, especially if you're doing high volume. And number two, we're going to talk about making kits. And we can actually have pre-made up kits to make it easier for you also. So at the very beginning, the very first session we did on the setup, we discussed a little bit about setting up these margins. So let's go over to the setup, and we have what we call a margin matrix. Again, that's called whole goods, and there is no markup on the whole goods. So when we set these up originally, what happens is this: we have to put rules in. We have to put a rule in for the material line and the sublet line for each one of the three different categories: service and repairs, rebuilds, and the kits. So what happens a lot of times is we get very busy doing these, and if we end up doing higher volume of repairs, it does make it a little bit more difficult because you're constantly having to just use the one package, adding labor lines, adding part lines, adding sublet lines on an individual basis, and then looking all those parts up and the labor up. So which kind of slows you down. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you in another system how we can actually lay in an extra template to make this easier for you. So in this system here, what I did in the setup was I actually laid another template in and called it Whole Goods Automotive Service. It's just nothing but a copy of the original automotive service template and renamed it. When I do this, what I must do, and this is very critical, I must go to my margin rules here, my matrix rules, and I have to add a rule for every single category in here. Okay, so if you kind of look down here, see I've started to add one. There's another rule for oil lube maintenance, accessories, batteries, right on down the line. Okay, there also has to be a rule put in here for the sublets. It's going to be a little bit unique. Okay, so it's going to be a sublet towing category and sublet line in that category. Okay, so between that, what it will do is it'll allow you to use the full template to do any jobs that you want to do. So let's go down and look at that. So now what we're going to have is we're going to have a complete set of concerns just in that one profit center. And these can all be utilized under the whole goods repairs. Same thing will go with inspections. All of our inspections will be in here, and all of our services. The other nice thing about this too is you can go ahead and set up a template to start a work order for a whole good repair and already have maybe like an inspection on it or a job or two already set up. So let's go make one with an inspection. Now, in order to make this work properly, what I want to do is first go into whatever inspection I want to use and set it up. So to set this up, I just open the inspection. We'll use the 30 point as an example. We're going to open the labor line, and then we have to tell it to use the whole goods labor rate. Now, I may have a technician always do an inspection when I work on these cars, and I might want to credit them, say, a 0.3 or a 0.5 or something like that. So now I save it. Now I go create my template. So I have my standards that I can start with, and now I can add whatever I want. So we'll just call this used vehicle inspection. I'm going to start a work order right away with it. We're going to go add the inspection. And again, you do not want to pull this from automotive service. You want to pull this from your whole goods automotive service. Go in here, click on our inspection, add and close, and it's already set up and ready. Hit save. Say begin. Now I'm ready to go. So let's go do one. So again, I go to work orders or prioritization, doesn't matter. Open my drop down, and now I have my inspection one. So when I start that, again, I still have to find the vehicle that I'm going to work on. Let's just say we're going to do an F-150. Hit OK. Starts the work order. I already have my inspection on here. Now, since I had this all connected, just like we talked about earlier, automatically pulls my contact and my vehicle across. I'm going to have an inspection sheet now that I can use. So let's say my technician goes through an inspection and says this vehicle needs maybe an air filter, might need some tires, whatever the case may be. So I can go in, open it up. I can still document everything that I want, just like I do on a regular repair. Add package. I'm going to go look. Again, Whole Goods Automotive is where I want to pull that from. Okay. And then let's go do some tires. So let's say we're going to need 4 tires. Add package. Now, here it's just pulling tire tread depth. Again, I'm going to go look for the job. Now you'll notice it's pulling up these from the different profit centers. See, I want to make sure that I'm pulling it from Whole Goods. So let's say we're going to do 4 tires. And we might even do an alignment. Have my work order. Now my system, just so you know, I did set it up a little bit different just to show you. We have a feature in here called accept or not accept the deferred the packages from the inspection. So what it does is it automatically puts them in deferred. And then you can still use this to build your estimate. Okay. Now since we're doing an internal job here, I don't necessarily need to defer it because I want to do it. So I'm just going to move them over to the work order. And I will show you a little bit later where that switch is at. But you'll notice when I put these jobs on, you see it's already set up with my Whole Goods labor rate. I can go ahead and assign a tech if I want. Let's say Sam's going to do it. Might need to go put some mileage in. I'm going to go in here, go look at the last time I was in, go update the mileage here. Let's say it has 60,000. Now I want to go look up my labor and my parts. By doing it this way, I could just select my first service, go to my catalog, and just start looking everything up. There's my labor for my filter. Again, it'll do an automatic search in the catalogs. Notice this time, I did not have to go back and tell it what to go searching for because I'm using the package that already has the definition in there. It makes that a whole lot easier. Again, it's going to check online at the store and the network. It even checks your inventory. And you can have, up to 3 vendors here at one time. Or you can just jump right into inventory and go find it. So let's say we want to use this air filter. Now let's look at this air filter. My cost is $29.99. Remember that. We're going to go straight over to some tires. It's going to jump over to my tire vendor. You're going to figure out what tire you want to get. There's King Ranch there. Let's just say we're going to do these 20s. And go find those. And I want to do some of these. We're going to do some, Goodyears or something in here. Do some Wranglers. Hit apply. Labor on alignment. There we go. And again, you can even have those preset up just like you do on a regular automotive service. That way you don't even have to look it up. So I need a little bit of labor here. Let's say I'm going to do a 0.8 for my tech. It's brought everything over at cost. Let's go over here and look. Analysis. There's my labor. Now again, labor is marked up a little bit because I have a cost of a technician, right? But here's my price on my part. No markup. No markup. Right down the line. Works perfect. Let's go order my parts. Here's my two vendors. Place our order. And order the next batch. Parts arrive. Click. Receive or open purchase order. Put in your invoice number, whatever it is. Receive it. Open PO. Receive it in. See, so this makes it really nice and easy to do these jobs because you can have all of the packages. Here's my grand total at the bottom. Now on this particular one, I do charge a little bit of an environmental fee here. Okay. You will see I do charge it on filters. What if I want to override this? Other charge. I can go do adjustment here. So by laying in an extra template and setting that up properly, it allows you to be able to do a ticket much faster. You can use the appropriate jobs. When you go back and look at history, you'll see it a lot easier. Let's post this out and go look at history and see how this looks. So we're going to post this job out. We're going to update the costs. Remember, we talked about that earlier. Outgoing mileage. Not going to print an invoice. So what's the next step? The very next step, go straight to inventory. Always do this. Always do this. Find the vehicle. Edit. Here's your pricing, $1571.48. Here is where it was originally. It got recounted down, recounted back up. So you always want to make sure that this final cost is matched here. So if you kind of look at this closely, originally I got this vehicle for free. I had no initial cost in it. That's a good deal. So let's go look at history. I'm going to go to contacts. I'm going to go look for that F-150 here. There it is under whole goods. Edit. So I can not only open my invoices here, I can go into history and use the histograph. Now see, here is the difference. The very first time I worked on it, I did not have that template laid in. I used that one single service package. So when I look at my histograph, all I know is I did this package. In order to see what I actually did, I have to open the invoice to see the details. But since I laid the template, I don't even have to do that. I can open this up and see everything that I did and when I did it. Makes it much easier. So that's a nice little feature that we can do. And typically, if you're doing any kind of volume on used vehicles like this, it's well worth having that laid in. There's no extra charge. We just put it in and set it up, and you're ready to go. Next thing I want to discuss in here is kits. We talked a little bit about kits earlier. I have, for example, I have a part that's called a brake service kit. So let's go look at this. So let's see if we go find our kit. So I have this little kit in stock that I made that I like to put on all brake jobs that I do. So again, as I sell the kit and deplete it out, it's going to move it over to the work orders, and then I'm going to start to run out. So here I'm down to one kit. Now I need to make some more kits, and I want to do it pretty quick. I don't want to waste a lot of time making kits. Okay, this is something that I use all the time, a brake service kit. So what can I do to make this easier? What I can do is I can actually go into the whole goods, into the service packages, and create the package with those specific items that I use and already have it pre-made up. Then all I have to do is start the ticket, tell it how many I want, and make the kit. Very easy to do. So let's go do that. I'm going to go to Setup. We'll go down to Work Order Setup, Services. Go to Whole Goods Kits. So this is my standard package. Again, there's really nothing in here other than a couple of generic lines. Okay. So what if I want to make one and have it already set up with that brake service kit? So I'm going to duplicate it. All I'm doing is left click, right click. We're going to edit, and we're going to call this the brake service kit. Now again, if you like to have it bold, just sweep over it, right click and bold it. So in this brake service kit, I really don't need a labor line, so I can delete this labor line. But I do know that whenever I create any of these kits, I'm going to use three particular items. I'm going to use some brake clean, I'm going to use roll-lock discs, and I'm going to use some caliper lube. So what I did was I went ahead and put those items into inventory. I have them stocked into inventory. This really makes it simple. So let's take our first line here. We're going to open it up. We're going to edit it. Oops, I'm sorry. Double click and open it up. And I'm going to go to inventory, and I'm going to go look for my brake clean. So we'll go find some brake clean. There it is. I'm going to click, and I'm going to draw it. Okay. Now, what do I want to do here? I want to make sure that this is set on whole goods. Okay. Have to do this. Okay. I want to add another material line. So just add another line. Let's go find our caliper loop. Draw. Make sure that this is on whole goods. And then we're going to do one more. For our disc. So at this point, I really don't know how many I'm going to make. I might make 5, I might make 10, I might make 2. So I can go in here and change this. Okay, so I just, double click it. Change that quantity to 0. So now I have a brake service kit under my whole good kits. Save. Now I want to make a template to start that with. So I'm going to go to Whole Goods Templates. I'm not using work order templates, it's Whole Goods. Add. And we're going to do a brake service kit. Work order editor. Add our job. Save. Save again. And close it up. Let's see how this works. So I'm running out of kits. I need to go make some pretty quick. Again, work orders or prioritization, doesn't matter where. In my drop down, there's my template. I want to go make brake service kit. So I find my part. There it is. Increment quantity. How many do I want to make? Let's say I want to make 5 of these. So I'm going to hit OK. Don't let this fool you here. In stock 9. This is not showing you the difference on what's out on work orders. So I want to make 5 of these. All I'm going to do is open the lines up. Tell it how many I need to make these 5 kits. Now what if I like to use 2 discs per kit? I just put in 10. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to put in whatever is required. So I put everything together to make 5 more kits. Now remember, a couple things that you cannot forget here when you're making these kits, and you want to really pay attention. A, still need a tech, even though there's no labor lines, so I'm going to use my countersale guy. And B, make sure you reassign that to Whole Goods. No taxes, no charges, nothing. It's just straight up parts. So now I'm going to post it. It's going to increase the quantity by 5. My value increases. There's my average cost now. So if I go back to my inventory, look at my kit. Now I have 14 in stock with 6 available. I'm still charging $29.99 because I have that set on a fixed price. It's fixed. That's how easy that is. So if you really think about this, when you start using Whole Goods in here, you can use it for multiple things. And you can have multiple templates, multiple kits made, things like that. A lot of people will use it for brake service kits, AC service kits. It could be anything you want it to be. You really can. You can also lay in an extra template for doing vehicle repairs. That way you already have your definitions and your lookups there. You can even price out service packages strictly for the Whole Goods stuff. So make your life a lot easier. And that is some advanced tips on Whole Goods.